Record. All right. Tea time, May 19th, 2025. Um, let's go. I just want to hear about books. I'm ready. So we have, let's see, Julia was here first, then Andrea, Tom, and Liz. Very excited. Let's go.
Okay, I've got big ones today. I know I sort of teased that last week when I was here. And my first big one is a mighty big one. It's Michael Connolly. This is his new book, Nightshade. It comes out tomorrow. He was supposed to be at Warwick's, but unfortunately, he had a personal um, issue come up, and so Warwick's will have some signed copies. But so you should grab some. But this is really cool because he's introducing a new detective. And this is one of his first summer novels since I think 2020. So it's been 5 years since you've had a summer Michael Connolly novel. This takes place on Catalina Island. So really fun. I feel like I don't have to do much to sell Michael Connolly to people. Like, you know what you're getting, but what you're getting is very good. And I will say he's one of the sort of genre fiction authors like that, the thriller crime authors that almost every single bookseller and book buyer makes me send them a copy of his book. And you know, those book buyers can be jaded about what they actually want in their pile, in their TBR pile. But almost every single one makes me send them one. So Michael Connolly's new book comes out tomorrow, and I think you're all going to really like it.
I saw there was a great interview I read early this morning I don't know when it ran, but the LA Times read an interview with him. He was in Long Beach at a hangout for cops, I think, or something like that. And um, great. He's always a great
Yeah,
interview.
I feel like he always has the best stories if you get him face to face to tell you about like wild ride along events that he's done. It's pretty cool.
Also, if you've ordered the book already, if you've pre-ordered, whether through Warwick's or elsewhere, you have until the end of today, I think. I'll put the link in the chat, but you can get a cool pre-order incentive. You get a map. Uh, I believe it's digital. It's not a print map, but a map to help you along in the book, to orient yourself. So I'll put that link in the comments here.
Thanks, Amanda.
Yeah, Andrea.
All right. The Secret Life of a Cemetery, The Wild Nature and Enchanting Lore of Pere Lachaise. That is arguably the most famous cemetery in the world. It's in Paris, and if you haven't been there and you're planning on going to Paris, you must. It's quite beautiful. You don't even have to go and look at all the names on tombstones or whatever, just to walk through and be completely enchanted by how gorgeous this place is. I mean, it just covers like acres and acres, and it's really lovely in and of itself. But the cool thing about this book is it's from the head curator of the cemetery, and he just basically lays out like this great narrative of everything that this cemetery is. I mean, it's a place for joy, grief, obviously, contemplation. And then just also, he also talks about the wildlife that's there. And the whole book is filled with photography. So it's really a special book. And wow. And yes, if you're into photography, this is definitely a place to go. It's like it's a photogenic place. So yeah, there's like the NPR did a big feature on it. the New York Times just did a full feature of this. It's a rep fave. We all love this book. And let's see, let me look, let me see. The NPR review is great. They say, what connects Frederick Chopin, Marcel Proust, and Jim Morrison? A final resting place. The Secret Life of a Cemetery is a homage to the renowned Parisian cemetery, crammed with quirky facts, as the 110-acre cemetery is crammed with burial plots. It really is just a stunning book. And if you're interested, I used to have, this is one of my favorite books because I have a thing about cemeteries. I used to have a bumper sticker on my car that says I stop for old cemeteries, and I really like to find another one of those. Um, but anybody who's interested in obviously literature, music, celebrities, historical figures, they're all lying in rest there. So it's pretty great. And in some ways, it's like the nonfiction Europa title,
Fresh water
uh,
for flowers.
Flowers. Okay. Basically, that's what this book is with photographs. And we love it. And that is 28.95. And this is from Greystone, one of our great publishers north of our border, and still a different nation, Canada. Oh, I gotta
Cool.
stop sharing, huh? Sorry.
That looks great. Liz also has a thing about cemeteries.
I do, and I also like the name of the imprint, Greystone. Where's the headstone imprint? And it's all cemeteries all the time.
I know. There would be enough. There's enough volumes out there that they could make it work.
Hmm. That's
Yes,
great.
Beth. Long live Canada. Also, I noticed there's a crow on the front of that book, so I'm already a proponent for this book.
Yeah.
There are so many ways into this book.
Yeah. It's really great. And I mean, it was kind of a shock that the New York Times did a big feature on it. I mean, it's a major profile for the book, and you know, who knew? So it was a nice surprise.
Have you been to Mount Hope Cemetery here in San Diego, Andrea?
No, but I have to put that on my list apparently when I come down to visit everyone. So the next time I'm in town, I will carve out some time.
Or it's the big claim to fame is that Raymond Chandler is buried there.
Oh, well, yeah, that's definitely got to do the pilgrimage.
Okay, Tom, your turn.
Okay. I'm going to lift this heavy book up and I'm going to get it so you can see it. Ron Chernow's Mark Twain.
I thought it was going to be another Barbara.
I know. Well, it almost is. Um, Ron Chernow needs no introduction, I assume. The Hamilton, most famous for Hamilton, but there's Washington. Last one was Grant, which kind of naturally led him to Mark Twain, because of course Twain was involved with the publication of Grant's memoirs. And Twain couldn't, kind of seems like this is the perfect moment to be doing another major biography of Twain, because, following Percival Everett's James, there's just so much talk of Mark Twain. And really, in a way, he represents so much about this country. It's always worth going back and telling that story. And then every biographer brings the current times, I think, to their biography of this figure from the past. So we get a new look at Twain here. And I grew up in St. Louis, so I feel like, no, sure, tell me something I don't know, because I know a lot about had to know a lot about Twain, but he does. He brings so much new information and the complexity of the man. I mean, he was um, a celebrity and a wealthy man at a certain point. And he delves deeply into the losses in his life. He suffered through the death of his wife and his two daughters. His changing ideas about race, add a whole very interesting, new perspective to Twain's life. There's a lot here, and well, obviously there's a lot here. It's over 1,000 pages, but Chernow is a master. And Andrea, in honor of you, I can honestly say I have a magisterial biography. Right?
Ah,
This definitely fits the bill. Um, so anyway, you know who you are. If you want to read a Ron Chernow biography of Mark Twain, you know who you are, or you know who in your life needs this book. The reviews are just starting to run, except for one cranky one in the New York Times. The reviews have been fantastic. Um, Calling it, basically that he proves once again that he's our generation's finest biographer. So Ron Chernow's Mark Twain.
It's a good cover.
Yeah, great cover.
I feel like Mark Twain would have been disappointed if he didn't get a cranky review from the New York Times, but maybe I'm
Yeah, it's
projecting.
true.
You probably gave some cranky reviews.
Oh,
Oh,
I'm sure he did.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah. Oh yeah. He got in trouble when he was out in the Nevada territory for writing some some mean-spirited reviews about some folks who were trying to raise money for Army veterans, basically. And he had to leave. He had to go
Oh,
to
wow.
they were coming for him.
he got
That's
chased out of Nevada.
Yeah, and that's hard to do, especially back then, let me tell you.
that's funny. Those are the days when you could chase someone out of Nevada.
My turn.
Hmm.
Okay, so I'm going to talk about something fun. On the Knopf list goes on sale tomorrow. This is Food Person by Adam Roberts, and it's a comedy of manners. It's definitely a book for foodies. I love this cover. I think it's so clever and pink and great. So it's about cooking, it's about ambition, it's about friendship, and I was hooked from the first page uh, by a line. Well, first page is full. The whole book is full of funny lines, and it's such a wonderful character, Isabel Pasternak. But one of her lines is, "For Isabella, forced camaraderie was worse than boneless, skinless chicken breasts." So that's a little bit of the tone of the book. So our main character, Isabella, is a food person. She daydreams about her first meal at Chez Panisse. Her apartment's full of cookbooks, with lots of cookbook names that you would recognize, peppered throughout the book. But she's out of a job because she got fired after this disastrous live stream souffle demonstration. So you can imagine. She takes a job to ghostwrite a cookbook with a celebrity who's undergoing scandal, formerly beloved TV celebrity who becomes this nightmare collaborator. She's hungover, she's flaky, shallow, and worst of all, to Isabella, she's indifferent to food. But through their developing relationship, bizarre texts, goofy confessions, road trips, all manner of hijinks. They start to warm to each other. So therein lies the friendship. And Molly is hoping that Isabella is hoping that she can find the key to Molly's heart and her stomach, and that hopefully both of their careers will not go up in flames. Mary Roach said of the book, "I scarfed this book down in a single seating, utterly delicious and satisfying to the end." And although this is Adam Roberts' debut novel, he has written other books about food, The Secrets of the Best Chefs. He also has a food blog that's really popular called The Amateur Gourmet. So he has all sorts of insight and insider stuff that he puts in the book. Yeah, his podcast is called Lunch Therapy. That's his podcast, and he's written for the Washington Post, etc. So it's a really fun book. I love the Stephen Rowley quote. Definitely be great for fans of that. Also, the plot's been compared favorably to the TV show Hacks, and I think that's very apt. So there you go. Food Person on sale tomorrow.
Sounds great. Um, yeah, let's keep rolling. I was going to interject with another food related book, but I think I'll save that for another tea time. Always, always down for books about food, though.
Yeah, I mean, and I think of J. Ryan Strattle and how popular his books have been. It's gonna be a very light, tasty read.
Looks lovely.
Again, another pun.
Uh-huh. Are you doing this on purpose?
It's pretty seamless. It's quite good.
Yeah, I'm not even noticing until you. Okay, Julia, back to you.
Okay, well, mine is a big name in romantasy this week. And because tomorrow Rachel Gillig's The Night and the Moth comes out. You can see all of the things that this book is about here. But Rachel Gillig wrote One Dark Window and Two Twisted Crowns, which was a duology, and this is her first standalone book. This is a romance about like a woman, a seer sort of woman, and this knight, and this knight is extremely rude. She does not like this knight whatsoever, and then her fellow seers start disappearing, and she must ask this knight for help in finding them. And turns out maybe he's not quite as rude as she originally thought. Maybe actually a little charming. And so it is very fun romantasy. It's got all the things that you need for a beach read, or maybe a goth beach read, depending on your proclivities. But Rachel Gillig's The Night and the Moth, I think you're going to be hearing a lot about this and about her. And it's a really fun one. We've had a lot of great feedback so far of people really loving this book. And if it's anything like her first two, it will be a big, big success. So, so yeah,
Great cover too.
yeah, it's fun.
Thank you. Is is it written for adults or young
Oh
adults?
yeah,
Oh,
it's
okay,
adult.
okay.
It's adult.
Got it.
It's not super adult, but it's adult.
Excellent. Thank you.
Yeah.
Andrea.
Right. I am very excited about this book. This is The King of a Rainy Country by Bridget Brophy. And this is published by McNally Editions, and they do, in the main, classic titles, classic titles that should have never gone out of print. And we definitely think this one shouldn't gone out of print. This is published on the heels of another one of my publishers, Faber and Faber's publication of The Snowball. And we really do think that Bridget Brophy is set for a resurgence here in the States, as she has seen in England, or the UK. It's not just England, but sorry about that, everyone. Anyway, this well, she was basically one of the most prominent bisexuals back in the day, but also thought of as one of the great intellectuals of her period. And she was likened to Susan Sontag. She had a affair with another amazing woman writer, Iris Murdoch, who's my favorite ever. Some of you who have been listening to Tea Time will know that, because anytime I have a chance to talk about her, I will. But this book is about the travails and awkwardness of youth. There is, and young love. There is a comic romp from dreary old London to the continent, which is rather hilarious. Like those scenes are really great. Also, the protagonist of this story um, is working for a basically a pornographer bookseller, and um, comes across photographs of her first love at a all girls school, and she and her boyfriend slash roommate, it's I don't know. I don't really know if they're really, having a romance or if it's just really a roommate situation, but that's part of the charm of this book. You never really know. They make a mad dash around dreary old London to try to find the old roommate who is the star of like a rare semi-pornographic they're tasteful nudes, but they're definitely blue in nature. So they're trying to find her, and it is just so well written. This is for basically fans of Sally Rooney, Ollie Smith, and also it has like the tone of a Smith song. So if you like the melancholy and lyricism of the Smiths, I think you're gonna like this book. It's got a lot going for it. And I mean the reviews are great. A.S. Byatt says there is nobody quite like her, no one who sees the world quite in her original way. Um, um, if I think also if you're into like Paul Thomas Anderson films, you would like this. Anyway, we're just so excited to see that she's back on the scene and is enjoying some I think, much well-deserved attention here in the States. So um The King of a Rainy Country.
I was at Hay Books, San Diego's newest bookstore, and saw this book in person yesterday. And it's a very handsome book as well. Just
Yeah.
it's a paperback. It's small, but it has a little quirky of a trim size, and it's got those nice French flaps. It's
Yep.
so not
And they're
only good content, but a nice package
Yeah,
there.
I agree. I'm glad that you think so as well. And the McNally editions always have interesting covers too, so they look
I
good.
picked up I picked this up last week at a store. It's a McNally edition, The Pilgrimage.
Oh, yes.
And I couldn't resist it because of it, all of these things. It's a beautiful book.
That is a really great novel, I have to say.
That's what as I'm sure it is. It looks fantastic. I love rediscoveries like this or discoveries, but publishers that are bringing writers like this and books like this back into the present.
Yeah, and they're doing a great job. Um the editorial sensibility there is a cut above, and also the people who are writing that they get to write the introductions are really the introductions are really incisive. So
Yeah, this is Colm Toiveen on this one.
yeah, and
Wow.
this was this one that I just talked about. I didn't talk about it is Stacey DeRosmo. So
How many books have they done so far? How many would you say?
they're I don't know in the
Are they new at it? Because I'm thinking of New York Review of Books, and it's nice that there's enough to go around
yeah
of
no
these.
they've been this comes out of McNally Jackson
Yeah.
booksellers in
Oh, the bookstore. Yes.
Toronto.
Okay.
Yeah, and the Sarah McNally who owns that store wanted to create her own imprint. So they're doing that. They've been around. We just started distributing them in January, so there's a good
It looks like there's about this quote in this book, there's 42.
Oh,
yeah.
that's
So
great. Oh my
yeah,
gosh.
so that's about right. I was going to say 50 or 60, and they're also they have there's an imprint for the woman who does the Marginalian blog now,
Okay.
Ah,
Mary Popova, who's a genius. And so they're doing a lot of great things. They're also doing a line starting in the fall of some really cool blank books and journals. So those will be on the shelves. in indie bookstores and Warwick's in their beautiful stationery department.
Mm.
So
Cool.
Nice way to
yeah,
bring it back around. Thanks.
always trying,
Okay, Tom.
All
Hmm.
right. So my next book, there have been a lot of books, and I've sold my fair share. Books about AI, trying to understand AI. But none of them have really captured, I mean, at least for me, this book, Empire of AI, is the book I've been waiting for because it's big, it's deeply reported, and it's definitely not uncritical. So Karen Howe is the author. She is a reporter who has had access to Sam Altman and OpenAI. The subtitle is Dreams and Nightmares in Sam Altman's OpenAI. And so she's had access to that company, which started out as a nonprofit, and it was supposed to be had a mission to, to not be about money and power. And of course, all that has changed now. So she's had access to this company and sources within and all around for since they came into being. So she's the right person to be telling this story um, about it's reported not just with the company itself, but she's gone around the world to like talking to Kenya, the data laborers in Kenya, because this is a story. This is about the empire. It's like that's her kind of metaphor, is that this is a global empire that we are not recognizing as the empire that it is. So she goes to Kenya, she goes to Chile to talk to water activists, and it's a lot about how much energy is used in the production of AI. All the humans that are used to clean up data. It's a big story. So it's not just a business story, it's bigger than that too. It kind of reminds me in a way of the book Bad Blood, which was a business book, but very readable and kind of important. And I'll just read a little bit of what she says in her author's note. This book is not a corporate book. While it tells the inside story of OpenAI, that story is meant to be a prism through which to see far beyond this one company. It's a profile of a scientific ambition turned into an aggressive, ideological, money-fueled quest, an examination of its multifaceted and expansive footprint, a meditation on power. To that end, I spent significant time embedding with communities on the ground in countries around the world to understand their histories, cultures, lives, and experiences grappling with the visceral impacts of AI. Because this is going to have an impact not just on our lives and our kids' lives, but all around the world. So I hope that this is the book that people read to try to wake up to the dangers of AI. So that's The Empire of AI, out tomorrow. And it's already getting is a lot of early attention. The Atlantic did a big excerpt. Um, there's a lot more to come on that.
Yeah, I just think about the copyright issues. It's so mind-boggling.
Oh yeah. Yeah, yeah. Yeah, and none of it has been, of course, none of it has been thought out. And
No.
she was like she tried to get access to Sam Altman and the company, and at first they were interested, but as soon as they realized she was going to be a dogged reporter, they were like they shut her off. And there are a couple of other books that Sam Altman has tweeted about that are more, he likes better, shall we say,
Hmm.
not hers.
yeah, I'm really worried about just the water usage. It takes so much
Yeah,
water to cool down these huge, computers like complexes, when really we're already in, having a water crisis globally, and it's just absolutely insane what they're trying to do to take over, these companies to take over municipal water.
yeah,
Um, and for what, like anyway, so I think this is a very timely book, and it's great
yeah.
that the author's been able to synthesize all of this to lay it out for people. So,
And I love the empire metaphor because it's transnational. This is Yeah, this is yeah, it's something it's an empire around the world that we need to know about and be afraid of,
Well,
honestly.
I mean, just last week, the president was doing a deal in the Middle East to base a huge AI, um, I don't know, hub there instead of here
Yeah.
in the desert.
Yes, you might. Yes, you add. I know.
Oh my gosh. Well, we need to keep our eyes open and know about all of this, but we also need to laugh. And who makes us laugh more? Here's my
I
segue.
know what you mean. I know what you're gonna say, I think.
I'm gonna say Carl
That's
Hyacin.
who I thought, yes.
Good guess.
Yay.
Good guess. So I know he's gonna be at Warwick's doing a big event on Thursday, yes?
He'll be at Coronado Public Library, so that it's a
A
nice
joint
big
event,
room.
right? Yep.
Yeah, and actually reserved seating is already filled, so there will be some open seating if anyone
Okay.
wants to drop
I
in.
had a
But
feeling my God, he's so popular. So, and even more so, he's got a new fan in me because I loved the adaptation of Bad Monkey, and now I like to read his books. So this is the new one, Fever Beach, also set in Florida. So the opening line. The afternoon of September 1st, dishwater gray and rainy, a man named Dale Figo picked up a hitchhiker on Gus Grissom Boulevard in Tangelo Shores, Florida. The hitchhiker who reminded Figo of Danny DeVito asked for a lift to the interstate. Figo said he'd take him there after finishing an errand. So, thus begins the story, the errand, which goes into a corrupt Florida, a bastion of right-wing extremism, white power greed. Figo's messy life is about to get more complicated, thanks to these two formidable adversaries he meets. Viva Morales, who's a new Floridian, a divorcee, who's working at the Mink Foundation, which is a supposedly philanthropic organization. She's renting a room in Figo's apartment because there's no place else she can afford. And then I love his names, Twilly Spree, who has an anger management problem and way too much money. He's inherited millions of dollars. He's living alone after his dog died, and 2 years after he sank a city councilman's party barge, and 3 years after his divorce. So all those love entanglements that Hyacinth is good at, but also this amazing cast of characters that would confuse you, and I would not be able to relate very well. But they're all it's all about dark money, darker motives, and just trying to solve a mystery. So I love Ron Charles's review in the Washington Post, puts it very well. While white shoe lawyers, university presidents, and media moguls cower before the MAGA assaults on American democracy and decency, this mischievous 72-year-old writer is fighting back with every political gag and sex joke he can get his hands on. So read Fever Beach, and I hope the event is a big success.
this Thursday, he's going to be in conversation with Dean Nelson, who is the founder of the journalism program at Point Loma Nazarene University, and
Oh.
he's a fantastic interviewer. He wrote a book about how to interview people, so it's going to be
Oh,
a good
that's
one.
perfect. Oh my gosh, it'll be fun.
And I don't think I'm not sure that the Carl Hiaasen books are part of a series.
I
I
don't
think they
think
are
they are
standalone.
either.
No, this is a standalone.
And I
I
think
don't
they're all
know.
standalones, aren't they?
Yeah, but I think there may be the occasional recurring
Mhm.
character that gets
Probably.
his own novel.
It's
Or
like
Um,
a,
some Easter eggs.
I mean, his
it's like a
backlist is
world.
long.
It's the highest in world.
Yeah,
So
and he also writes, he's written some book for young adults. I mean, he is prominent. He's one of our best comic writers.
Those are some very Dickensian character names.
Oh, I know. I love them. They're so great.
Twilly Spree, that really makes me chuckle.
So
Even kind of like a Bond girl name. Um,
Yeah. Uh, American
Chris.
culture. We need our skewerings.
indeed.
Yeah. Lightning round, Julia.
Okay, we're gonna end on one of my favorite books of the season. This is a music book. It is called Tearing Down the Orange Curtain. Um,
The
and
cover.
it is how, sorry, what?
The cover is so good.
It's so good. How punk rock brought Orange County to the world, with a foreword by Mike Ness, the lead singer of my favorite band, Social Distortion. And this is, I mean, I grew up in Bay Area punk rock. Um, around this time, and the influence that these bands and these musicians had on, not just being in California, but also like music in general. So you can see on the cover there, Gwen Stefani, you have Sublime. There are these great sort of like stories of being at house parties that like Gwen Stefani, like no doubt, is playing these house parties in like the middle of Anaheim or like Fullerton or whatever. They're opening for Sublime at someone's like little small. There was this like little grungy um club in, I think, maybe Newport Beach. It was one of the beaches in Orange County. I'm going to get it wrong, but just a great sort of history, oral history. Um, well, not a full oral history. It's based on a lot of interviews of like this Orange County punk rock, the bands that came out of it. Bands like Blink 182, like I said, No Doubt, Sublime, Social Distortion, TSOL, all of these different wonderful punk bands. And this is just like, honestly, it's nostalgia of a time gone by, where these sort of grungy kids were playing music in people's houses and in their garages and things like that. And I just think it's a stunning book. It's a great account of this area and this time. And yeah, I can't say enough good things about it. I absolutely loved this and read every single word. I needed it when I read it. So yeah, Tearing Down the Orange Curtain. It's out tomorrow.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Thank you.
It
Wow,
really is an amazing cover.
Yeah, isn't
so
that?
Yeah.
Social Distortion. They were recently here in San Diego for a 4-day stand at the observatory, which is a big venue, and I think every night sold out. I didn't quite realize how big they are.
I mean, Social Distortion started in like 79. So they were kind of the elder statesmen of the era. In the this book talks about sort of late 80s, early to mid 90s. And so they were already pretty well established in the punk scene. And they are, Social D is from Fullerton, California. And so they, and I think people forget like how monumental of a band they are, and how much, I mean, literally I learned who Johnny Cash was because of Social Distortion. So like that's the kind of stuff they're doing. They're a little bit rockabilly. Mike Ness is an artist. I mean, such a great performer. So even if you're not a real big punk fan, you probably know a Social Distortion song. Most definitely. So
Excellent. Andrea?
Just a reminder that The Covenant of Water is now out in paperback. Most everybody out there in our readerly audience knows this book. Many of you have read it, but now is the time. If you have a book club and haven't read it, to suggest this Oprah Book Club pick, a New York Times bestseller that remained on the list for 39 weeks. We've sold over 1.5 million copies in hardcover. And so now it's in paper, and it's a really beautiful book. Abraham Verghese wrote Cutting for Stone, which was another huge bestseller. The guy has a knack for really doing it upright, and this is about it's just an epic. How many pages is it? In it's like, yeah, 760
768.
pages. It's just a doorstop. So it's definitely an epic story about love, faith, medicine. Um, there's doctors involved here, and the folks involved in this story trying to unravel a secret. It's set in Kerala, South India, um, and it follows the three generations of people that live together and in this area. It's just so beautifully um, the the land there and the people are so beautifully described, and people, people finish this book. It's such good storytelling, and that's saying a lot. Like when most everybody that I've talked to has finished this book and it's 768 pages, that's amazing, right? So now out in trade paper. So it's a good time. Well, there'll be stacks at Warwick's through the holidays. This is a great time to pick up this book for friends that haven't read it, and a darn good price, $22 for 768 pages. That's some value.
I'm imagining like when you go to the grocery store and they have the price per ounce on the tags.
Right.
We should start doing that on books. But sorry, I didn't mean to make fun, but that is indeed a good value.
I'm not taking it personally. I'm not going to write about it in my journal tonight.
I will say that my book club read it and we all finished it. So there were like 8 of us.
That's
That's
great.
impressive.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Yeah,
we liked it.
it's just such, it's masterful storytelling.
Your
So
book
I
club actually finishes your books.
It's the first one ever I've been in that does. You don't want to hear my tale of book clubs.
The other book clubs.
I've had some terrible ones.
Also, Abraham for gays for I always mess up his name. Tell me how it's actually pronounced.
well, I've heard it from many people, Verghese or Verghese, but I go with
Okay.
Verghese.
Okay, good. He's also like one of the nicest authors I've ever met.
Yes,
Like
he's a lovely
such a
man.
gentleman. Yeah.
Yep, and just very humble, and um, he loves his audience. He always talks to people like at signing events and takes time for people. So
Yeah, like when I met him, he made it seem like he was excited to meet me, which was very strange.
yeah, yeah. No, it couldn't happen to a nicer guy.
hmm Okay, Tom.
Okay, so Penguin Press, one of the publishers that I sell, is having in a big month of May. Well, let's put it that way. Ocean Vuong's book was Penguin Press. Mark Twain, Penguin Press. Empire of AI, Penguin Press. Um, and my last book, Penguin Press. And I will say that this is the perfect lightning round pick because I don't need to say very much because the media has been saying it all for a couple of weeks now. It's Original Sin by Jake Tapper and Alex Thompson, out tomorrow. This has caused they promised there would be a media explosion when we published the book, and there has been a media explosion. It's on the left, it's on the right, it's everywhere, and for all kinds of good reasons and bad reasons. And anyway, it's the story of how the inside the Biden White House and how they came to the decision or didn't come to the decision for Joe Biden to run and then not run. Tons and tons, as I'm sure we've all seen. New Yorker excerpt. They'll be on Fresh Air tomorrow. It's going to be for a bit. It's going to be intense. So, Original Sin by Jake Tapper and Alex Thompson.
Boy,
I had to do it. It's a big
yeah,
book.
thank you.
And I read today that Biden has a pretty aggressive
Yeah,
form of prostate cancer.
yeah,
Sad.
yeah,
He's given a lot to the country. So,
absolutely.
my turn, lightning round for a new Irish writer whose name is Garrett. Let's get him up here. Carr. This is The Boy from the Sea, and it's being hailed as an outrageously funny and incredibly moving debut novel about a restless boy trying to find his place in the world from a major new voice in Irish literature. Which Irish literature, have we ever read an Irish book that we didn't like? I haven't. So this opens in 1973 when on a small fishing village in Ireland, a barrel rolls up and there's a baby boy in it. And this is a really close-knit village. And a man, a fisherman, Ambrose Bonner, offers to bring the child into his own family. He already has a son, his wife, and then up the road, his sister, his aging father. The whole town is, of course, affected by this mystery of where this baby came from. And he grows up there into this sort of strange, as I said, restless young man. So where his origin story is, of course, a big part of the novel, and just the way it affects this town, and the writing is so beautiful. And as I said, it's also funny, and of course, it's all building to this sort of stormy conclusion. And I would think any fan, I know Claire Keegan's invoked all the time, but I read Foster, and when I started this, it really was reminding me like the father figure in Foster and this fisherman in The Boy from the Sea. Like there's just this quiet reserve, loving reserve in both of them. That I related to. So the author teaches creative writing at Seamus Heaney Center, and he also is a frequent contributor to The Guardian and the Irish Times. And I expect to see more books from him. But this is a beautiful start to his writing career.
And yet another gorgeous cover.
Hmm. Although when I see a group of gulls like that, I get freaked out the way
Birds.
that most people get freaked out by a group of crows. But because gulls are such hooligans. Anyway, it is a beautiful cover.
They are hooligans.
They are. They're like the beach. I don't know, like the jocks at the beach that just make trouble. I don't know.
Scrappy.
Thank you all so much. That was an excellent session. I feel very privileged that this is part of my job every week. You always bring it, and that was great. I needn't have
And
worried about being on my own today.
you weren't on your own. We saw your cat stretching behind you. It was so relaxing.
She knows when it's almost tea time. She comes in here. It's really strange.
She wants to be on camera.
She's a ham. Thank you, everyone. Yeah, if you want to see Carl Hyacin this Thursday, he'll be at the library. We have a bunch of all fantastic events coming up that Julie's been working hard on booking. Really exciting one she just booked this week. We'll be getting that up and running soon. And yeah, thank you all again. Thank you all of our attendees. Thank you all our reps, and we'll see you next week.
Thank
Thanks.
you.
Uh,
Good night.
Thanks, guys.